Good morning, Sakiv. How are you? So nice to see you again. 2 days in a row. I'm doing okay, Sakiv. There's COVID in my house right now, so I'm sort of in lockdown. I'm not sick yet, but I'm bunking with 2 people who are. So it's only a matter of time before I become ill. The question is, how ill? I don't think I'm going to get very ill, given the way that my immune system works, but we shall see. Good morning, Pamela. How are you? Shema Yisrael Asher Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Vahafta et anat Elohecha ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודייך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר נחיל מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך וחיה כי הביאך אלוהיך אל הארץ אשר נשבע לאבותיך לאברהם ליצחק וליעקב לתת לך ערים גדולות וטובות אשר לא בנית ובתים מלאים כל טובה אשר לא מילאת וברות הצווים אשר לא עשת והכרמים וזיתים אשר לא נתת והלכת ושבת הישמר לך פן תשכח את יהוה אשר הוציאך מארץ מצרים מבית עבדים. Listen, Israel. Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad. Listen. All these names refer to the same thing underneath. The gods of one nation and the gods of another nation are actually the same. They represent the same reality. So, you shall love Yahweh Eloheinu with all your heart and all your soul and all your might, and these words that I have repeated to you every day for so long, teach them to your children, and recite them when you wake up and when you go to bed, and when you are traveling and when you are at home. And bind them as a symbol on your hand, and let them serve as a sign on your forehead, and inscribe them on the doorposts of your houses and on your gates. And when Yahweh Eloheinu brings you into the land that he swore to your fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to assign to you, great and flourishing cities that you did not build, houses full of all good things that you did not fill, hewn cisterns that you did not hew, vineyards and olive groves that you did not plant, and you eat your fill, take heed that you do not forget Yahweh, who freed you from the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. Baruch atah Yahweh, Eloheinu melech haolam, shelo ashani isha. I repeat the name of Yahweh Eloheinu, who did not make me a woman. Baruch atah Asherah, Anat melecha ha'olam, asher yitzaret ha'adam b'chachama u'ra ve'ol. I repeat the name of Asherah, Anat, who made me with many openings and cavities. That she did. How are you all doing today?
I have COVID.
Yeah, I know that. I guess I have COVID too?
Probably.
Probably. We'll see. Thank you for the rose, Ashley. That's very sweet of you. Good morning, Katie. How are you doing today? So, today we are going to continue on with this flood myth, the flood myth of Atrahasis. Right, and so we've read this story about gods of different social castes warring with one another, and then they create humans as their slaves, but then they try to kill the humans with drought and famine and pestilence, and now finally flood.
Hey, doesn't that remind you of Exodus?
Yeah, but actually this book is Genesis. This is like quite literally the Noah story. Yeah, like Enki goes to Atrahasis and he's like, listen, there's going to be a big flood because those gods are jackasses, but I like you, and so I'm going to tell you that you should build a boat, and it should be this big and this wide, and you should get all the animals and you should put it on it, and then you can survive the flood. This story is 2,000 years older than the story that we see in Genesis, so it's a little bit different, but surprisingly similar given the age range. You just got COVID too? Well, I don't need any healing yet. First I have to get sick, and then once I get sick, then I can heal. But thank you, Spider Sniff. Good morning, Teresa. Good morning, Jang. Good morning, everyone. Shall we read about the flood? Let's read about the flood. When the next day arrived, the tempest, flood, and fury, which had been thrashing like a mother straining in birth, all suddenly expired, and the swirling sea became still. The storm wind lessened, the raging torrent refrained. Atrahasis peeped out a gap to see what things were like. All quiet, nowhere distinguishable a man from the mud. There was just endless floodwater, like a flat roof. He opened the window, and light beamed onto his face. He knelt down and sat, then cried with tears cascading. He looked for the hills and for the banks of the ocean, and he saw areas of land breaking the surface of the water. The boat settled itself upon the mountain of Nimush. It took hold of the craft and would not let it wander. For the first and second day, for the third and fourth day, for the fifth and sixth day, the boat did not move an inch. Then, upon the seventh day, Atrahasis released a dove. It flew out and came back, finding no place to perch. Then he reached his hand forth and released a swallow. The swallow flew here and there, then came back home, for there was no promising place it might alight upon. Then he reached his hand forth and released a raven. The raven flew, and seeing that the waters were receding, it settled to eat, preen, fluff itself, and did not return. He sent out everything in all directions and sacrificed, settling down the ritual offering on the mountain peak, setting out the jars in 7 columns and in 7 rows, and into them he poured oils of reed, pine, and myrtle. The gods smelled the rising smoke, a pleasing fragrance. They gathered over the offering like a swarm of flies. After they consumed the offering, Nintu rose and spoke. What could have come over Anu to make this decision? And what does Eliel have no shame, coming to savor the smoke? Without consideration, the two of them sent down a flood and brought the people to a sad and sorry destruction. They agreed to cause their dire and pitiless obliteration. Now their shining faces will never look on the sun. She approached the great flies, which Anu had fashioned. From now on, man's burden will be a burden which I share. From now, his fate will no longer be separated from my own. He must now save me from any harm by offering sacrifice. And so let me rise every day in the morning for his sake. Recognize, O gods, that I will never forget this calamity. May these big flies become lapis lazuli upon my necklace. I will eternally recall and never forget what happened here. Gosh, that's so interesting. Right? Because like in the Genesis story, it's a rainbow, right? Which is like, pretty gay of Yahweh. But in this case, it's the midwife goddess, and she gets jewels of lapis lazuli, which I think that's more appropriate. And she's like, shame on you, man gods. Why'd you make that flood? That was lame. I don't like it. There's this interesting line. The next day the tempest, the flood, and fury arrived, which had been thrashing like a mother straining in birth. There's very interesting metaphors in this text. What is happening? Well, the flood just receded. And tomorrow we will read... Alright, there's 2 more days to finish the book, but tomorrow we will read what Atrahasis does after the flood recedes. Thank you. Thank you, Abigail. I appreciate the finger hearts. That's very kind of you. Excuse me. So. Good morning, Ella. I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing? So. I don't want to pray to my maker, no, no. I just want to be feeling free. Not just who I am, but the pink in golden land and that wide, wild sky over me. Help me to the sun, hey, I'm looking everywhere. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer. And I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray, we don't want to pray. Pray, and it's not much good to talk, better to walk it. Ooh, not much good to take, better to give. We are done, forgiven, and forgotten of our sins, and I promise you, my friends, all that dies will live again. So, pardon, God and Mom, what I'm saying isn't fair. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer, and I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray, we don't want to pray. Pray, and it's not much good to talk, better to walk it. Ooh, not much good to take, better to give. We are done, forgiven, and forgotten of our sins, and I promise you, my friends, all that dies will live again. So, pardon, God and Mom, what I'm saying isn't fair. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer, and I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray, we don't want to pray. Pray. Allah, Allah made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Asher, Asher, made good, and Anat made bad. Eloheinu made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. I love Allah. God made. But I don't want to pray to my Maker. I just want to be what I see. Not like in a book, or the leaves of trees that shook from a word that means only not a thing. Hashem. Pardon, God and Mom, what I'm saying isn't fair. See, I'm looking to become not the prayer, but the prayer, and I don't want to pray, no. I don't want to pray, no, no, no. I don't want to pray, we don't want to pray. Pray. I love Allah, Allah made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. Asher, Asher made good, and Anat made bad. Eloheinu made love, and Yahweh, Yahweh made hate. I love Allah. God made me. Thank you, Teresa. I'm glad you're here, Kimmy. All that dies will live again. It's true. It's not true, right? Maybe it's like fundamentally false, depending on what you mean by die and live, right? But a pattern that was once often repeats itself.
But there's no more nutrients or no less nutrients. They just cycle.
Exactly. The sun will rise and we will try again. Yep. Your body will die and it will break up and then it will become somebody else's body.
Can I be a salamander?
Yeah, you can be a salamander. For sure. Can I be an oak tree?
Yeah, probably, but it's a better bet to be a maple tree.
Why's that?
Because we have more maples and oaks.
Okay, fair enough.
You could be an apple.
I'd like to be an apple tree. And then you could eat me, and then I could be you. You aspire to be a sequoia. Do you live in a part of the world where the sequoias live? Good morning, Kaylee. Good morning, Shannon. My day's going pretty good. I woke up really late because I woke up really early in the middle of the night and couldn't get back to sleep, and then I just slept for a long time. But my day's going pretty good, all things considered. You used to live by the sequoias. Yeah, those are amazing trees. I remember visiting them when I lived in California. I've never seen anything so large. So, when Yahweh tells you not to do things, and we do it anyway, how does Yahweh judge me? Oh, Yahweh is very judgmental. But haters gonna hate. That's okay. Hi from Wales. What do I have planned today? After this stream, I have therapy with my father, and it's gonna put me into a terrible mood, most likely. And then I'm going to go out into the forest. There's a tree. I made a video about this tree over the summer when I was hiking with my students. It's a really fantastic oak tree on the other side of the brook. And it's like big like this. And it's rotting from the inside. It's like easily 100 years old, if not more. And there's maitake, Griffula frondosa, hen of the woods mushrooms, growing out of the rotting trunk. And I've been watching them for a week now. And I think today they will probably be big enough to harvest, and we'll harvest them and put them in the fridge and eat them for dinner, and it'll be great. And so, quite literally, I get to be an oak tree by way of maitake, and I think that's pretty cool. You want to be a butterfly? I want to be a butterfly.
You can't do it directly. You have to become a flower first.
That's true. Right, because butterflies don't eat human flesh. How do you cook them and what with? With lots of butter on a skillet. For a while. They're very dense mushrooms, so they take longer to cook than like Agaricus bisporus, the kind of mushroom that you get at the store. But they're very good. No, my father is not a therapist. Thank God. No, I'm going to see a therapist with my father, and my father will say all sorts of mean, nasty, and terrible things, and the therapist will go, indeed, indeed. And just keep doing that over and over again until I give up. You can see I'm a little fatalistic about it.
The therapist will be like, I don't think that's quite fair.
Yeah, maybe. I hope so. Yeah, I mean, my father will say that I'm a delusional drug addict, and then the therapist will be like, I don't think that's true. And, because I'm not. Did you know I'm not that?
I knew.
Yeah. I asked my father to go, because I couldn't talk with him one-on-one, because it was too painful, so I thought I could have a mediator in the room to do some mediation. And I'll let you know in 3 years whether it works, or whether I've just given myself a whole bunch of suffering for no use, for no purpose. We shall see. Bob, I already answered your question. Yahweh can hate, and it's okay, right? Because he is not the supreme authority in my life. He's just one authority in my life. And if Yahweh has judgments about who I am or what I do, he can have those judgments and let him send a flood and drown me if he wants to. It's up to him, really. Thank you, Kimmy. I am trying really hard. Sometimes I think I'm not trying hard enough because I just want to stop, right? And like I avoid my father most of the time, right? And that doesn't feel like trying very hard. But we'll see. Yeah, childhood traumas. They're real. Everybody has them. Some people have them worse than others. So I think it's time for Arati now. Yeah. No, I'm not afraid to be sent to suffering at Judgment Day. I'm not. Yeah, I feel really guilty. I feel really guilty for shutting him out. But, self-preservation sometimes makes you feel guilty. Sometimes Yahweh makes you feel guilty. They're related, you know. Fathers and Yahwehs. closely related characters. So, the word Arati means flame in Sanskrit. Yeah, let's all be like Bob. I agree, Kimmy. Let's aspire to Bobness. So Arati means flame, and Jai means Jai, which means praise, which means Jai, right? And so we're going to praise the light over and over and over again with various names of God. Yahweh will not be among them, but we will name some of his prophets, like Jesus and Moses and Muhammad. Although, people would say that Muhammad is a prophet of Allah, but they say that Allah is Yahweh, so, it's translations. So we'll praise the names of all of these different gods, or at the very least we'll repeat them. And in so doing, we will remind ourselves that regardless of the syllables coming out of our mouth, we're all in the same universe. And all of the syllables are part of the same universal fabric of being. That sounds like some woo nonsense. I don't know, I don't actually have good language to describe it that doesn't fall back on tropes that evoke cultures that I don't necessarily want to evoke, right? Like the universal fabric of being. I mean, it's a fair enough, accurate description, right? It's kind of like this fabric, but universal and everything. Physicists talk about fields, and they describe fields in similar ways that a fiber artist might describe fabric. And being is just like an English word, but when you string them all together, all of a sudden it sounds like you're a witch, or like a yoga mom or something in between. And I guess I'm those things. I don't know. I need a different language to talk about metaphysics. Otherwise I sound like someone else, and I don't want to sound like anyone else. I definitely am not me. Well, that's for sure. That's for sure. Who am I, Davy? If not myself, who am I? Anyhow, let's say Arati, shall we? Jaya Jaya Arati Vina Vinayaka Vina Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jaya Jaya Arati Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jaya Jaya Arati Venugopala Venugopala Venuola Papa Vidura Vanita Chora Jaya Jaya Arati Venkanta Ramana Sankata Harana Sita Rama Radhe Shama Jaya Jaya Arati Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jaya Arati Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Mahashakti Jaya Jaya Arati Anjaneya Hanumanta Jaya Jaya Arati Dattatreya Trimurti Avatara Jaya Jaya Arati Adityaya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Arati Sanistaraya Bhaskaraya and Jaya Jaya Arati Sankarachaya Advaita Guravi Jaya Jaya Arati Sadgurunata Shivananda Jaya Jaya Arati Vishnu Devananda Jaya Jaya Arati Agastya Munaye Shri Rama Priyaye Jaya Jaya Arati Ayapa Samine Dharma Shastave Jaya Jaya Arati Jesus Gurave Moses Gurave Buddha Gurave Jaya Jaya Arati Muhammad Gurave Guru Nanak Gurave Samastya Gurubho Namaha Jaya Jaya Arati Avanugopala. Natatrasya bhati natandragar tamnema vidyo bhati kutoya magni Twameva bantamanavanti sarvam tasya bhasya samridam vivanti Om Gange Kayamane Kaivagavari Saraswati Narmade Siddhika Veriya Namastitam Namo Namaha Twameva Mata Chapita Twameva Twameva Bandusha Saka Twameva Twameva Vidya Dravinam Twameva Twameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Kayena Vacha Manasendriyarva Buddhyat Manava Prakrite Sabhavad Karomyat Yad Mangalam Parasmahe Narayana Iti Sarmar Payami Sarvadhamam Pravichaya Mamikam Sarvanam Raja Aham Sva Sarva Papayo Mokshaya Mima Sucha. Whatever actions I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, my nature, my intellect, or my emotions, all these, I dedicate to you. You. Yeah, you. Good morning, Katie. How are you doing today? Excuse me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the vid. Maybe I already have the vid. Whatever shall I do?
You already have it. It's just a matter of how sick you get. See, Kay said she wasn't going to take me to the hospital.
Because you would be traumatized by the hospital?
No, this kind of like you better take care of yourself because I'm not going to take you to the hospital.
Oh. I mean, I could take you to the hospital.
I'm not going to the hospital because I don't get that sick.
No, you're not really that sick. Yeah.
I'm just rolling around.
Meg, I haven't seen you in forever either. Because it's mutual. When you see me, I see you. How are you? I don't quite have COVID yet, but my partners both have COVID. And I sleep with them. So it's really only a matter of time. And I've not been socially distant from them. Like they're in the other room right now. Your wife has COVID too. Yeah, we're in the midst of another surge.
I'm right here. I'm not even in the other room.
No. Oh no. It's really gonna be okay. Like it's kind of a relief, actually, if I'm being honest, right? Like, for me, the worst part about COVID is like worrying about it, and now I'm not worried about it, right? I just like I'm gonna eat chicken soup, and like my work life is not actually that physically strenuous. Like unless I get really really sick, I'm gonna get as much done on the paper that I'm writing as I'm ever gonna get done on a single day. I haven't been showing up for you, and you've been looking, Meg. Oh, I don't know if there's ways to get like TikTok notifications for lives. I do post announcements on Discord. If you check out the link in my bio, you can get announcements on Discord if you join the Discord server. Yeah, I'll have some immunity for the next few months. Yeah, once you get it, it's kind of a relief. It invites me to watch your live. Well, you're a subscriber. Like I think that if you actually do the like support function on TikTok, like you click subscribe and so you get the little yellow tag, the uwu tag that you have and the special emojis and whatnot. I think then TikTok will be more responsible about showing you my lives. Is that the right way to do it? You're sick too, Batcha? Everybody's sick. Everybody's sick in the stream.
No, Paycheck's not sick.
Paycheck's not sick? Well, that's good. She can pick apples. Special emojis? Yes, did you not know about the special emojis? Check out the special emojis. There's an Ouroboros, and there's a goat, and there's a mushroom. Click on my profile pic, tap the bell, and change notifications to all. Wow, Spider Sniff, you're so helpful. I don't even know how to do that stuff. I also don't even know how to subscribe on TikTok. Like, I know that you can go to click the link in my bio to go to Patreon, or you can like leave a one-time tip. Like, there's lots of ways to do it. But the subscription function, where do you find said special emojis? It should be in your chat feature. Like, I think when you're chatting, you should just see like a thing for emojis. I don't know. I've never subscribed to anyone on TikTok, and I've never used the special emojis in a live. So you should think I'm an expert in this, but there's a little star in the chat block. Okay. I'm glad Kimmy knows. Special emojis, they're quite a sell. They're actually like really special. And if you have special emoji requests, you can give me special emoji requests. Dr. Punk wanted a goat, so I put in a goat. Yeah, just like that. And there's a goat, there's a mushroom, there's an Ouroboros, there's a few others I should add. What should I add? I should probably add a dumpster. Yeah, that would be appropriate. And maybe a phylogenetic tree. We'll see. Eating breakfast today. Yes, I will eat breakfast with you today. I am having a slow morning, but it means that I can just like let my morning run until 12:30 when I have therapy. So yeah, let's say Kaddish, and then we can shift to breakfast. And I brought in lots of tasty things today, because I'm not really going to be leaving my room very much. You don't have the star. No, you definitely have special emojis. I know you do. But I don't know how to access them. Can I type in the chat? I don't think I can type in the chat. Like, it's a little weird. Comment? Add comment. Oh, there's a star. Yeah, that's really weird. You don't have a star. It's like right there in the chat box. I can type a special emoji. There's the thing. It's okay. It's not something you're worried about. Good. Well, I'm glad that your reasons for subscribing don't hinge on the special emojis. The goat emoji was definitely needed, huh? All right, let's post a ghost emoji. Goat emoji. Comment. Star. Goat. Goat. All right. Yeah, so let's say Kaddish. And then I'll have a fancy breakfast with rice and tomatoes and parsley and olives. Oh, that sounds nice, doesn't it? What else did I bring up? Oh, and ham and cheese. I got all sorts of nice, tasty things. Yeah. So, Kaddish is a prayer of mourning. It's a prayer of grief. I know what I will be grieving today. So I think it's a valuable practice to grieve publicly. I think most human emotions need to be processed socially, but especially intense sadness that doesn't seem to go away in any other way. I think when we express what we are grieving in community, it helps. The word Kaddish means holy or sacred in Hebrew. And the translation of the Mourner's Kaddish, if you look it up, there's a translation in the Discord server pinned in the live stream chat, or if you look it up on Google, right, you'll notice that there's nothing in the Mourner's Kaddish that is terribly sad or grieving. It's all just like Yahweh this and Yahweh that. He's the king of everything, blah, blah, blah. But nonetheless, the Kaddish is... it represents grief, right? It's socially come to represent that, even though the literal rhetorical meanings of the words are not necessarily sad. It's become a prayer of grief and mourning, and I think that's appropriate, right? Like, I like praying in Hebrew even though I don't speak the Hebrew language, because the open syllables, where I'm not necessarily perceiving all of the syntax all the time, allows me to feel it, right? To imbue the sounds with my own meaning. And I think that's pretty cool. So, for the last 2,500 years, my ancestors have been saying these words in response to death. And so I hope you will join me today in a minute or two of grief. Yidgadal vidgadash Shema Rabba. Biama dirachute biamlich malchute. B'chaychon of yomechon ched kol be Israel. Bagalav is man karifim. Amen. Yehe Shema Rabba mevarach li'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach vishtabach vitbar v'irman vitnase. vita dar, vita le, vita la shemeda kudesha barichu. Leila min kol berchata v'shirata, tush berchata v'nechemata, diamiran v'yama v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Ose shalom b'imramav, huya ase shalom. Aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Ose shalom b'imramav, huya ase shalom aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'imru v'imru. Amen. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I will see you here tomorrow to say these words once again. Now it's time for breakfast. Breakfast time. Breakfast time.